Hey guys, what's going on? John here with Jack for another episode of Talking Ball, and today we will be discussing the Los Angeles Lakers and their number 2 pick overall in the 2017 NBA Draft. Of course, they were able to keep the pick. It was a top 3 protected pick, and they kept it because it landed at 2 overall. And, you know, this is a year where there is a lot of turnover with the entire Lakers, with the organization especially, with Jeannie Buss taking over now, Magic Johnson as the president of basketball operations, and Mitch Kupchak is out. You still have their, prized head coach that they stole from the Warriors, Luke Walton, and, they're going to be looking to build a roster that can win. And, of course, there's some talk about them moving the pick for Paul George, and I guess we'll just talk about that real quick because Paul George has made it very obvious he wants to play in Los Angeles, but the chance that another team, someone like maybe the Boston Celtics, could move their pick and get George, and, maybe George will like it where he is and will decide to re-up with the team that trades for him rather than go to the Lakers. There's some inkling that maybe the Lakers should move that pick to get George and secure it. So, Jack, do you think that'd be a good idea, or do you think that would be shades of what the Knicks did with Carmelo Anthony a few years back?
I think you just nailed it on the head right there. I just don't see the point if I'm the Lakers. What's the rush? If the Celtics do end up giving the Pacers a better offer and Paul George, commits, and that's the only way I could see the Celtics trading for him is if he commits to a longer-term deal in Boston. And so if you're the Lakers, it just doesn't make sense to me to trade whatever assets it is. I mean, unless you do get them for less than what the asking price seems to be now. It seems to be right now that the trade would involve the number 2 pick and then either or, Russell or Ingram, maybe including like Larry Nance as well. And that seems like, at the face of it, it doesn't seem like too much of a value for a guy like Paul George, who's clearly a top 20 player, no matter what your opinions are on him in the NBA, and the guy who gets it done at both ends of the court, something I love. But it just seems like a steep asking price for a guy who may end up coming to the Lakers anyways. And, while you said it's been clear that he'll come to the Lakers, I don't know if he's made that clear, but he sure has made it clear that he's going to take his time after once he's a free agent and review the options for him because, playing in Indiana has been clearly frustrating for him over the past couple of seasons.
Right, yeah. I think it's, unless Indiana changes pretty quickly and they start putting more talent around him and the right pieces there, I think it's pretty clear that he'll leave Indiana. Now, it may not be a certainty that he'll go to Los Angeles, but I do think that is the likely option. But getting back to the Lakers' second pick here, a lot of people have them taking Lonzo Ball, and then from there, either dishing, moving D'Angelo Russell, or maybe keeping him and trying to transition him to, an off-ball, 2 guard sort of. So, Jack, I want to know what your take is on that with the whole D'Angelo Russell situation if the Lakers do go ahead and take Lonzo.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the young Lakers are thrilled with the prospects of adding Lonzo Ball.
Right.
And I'm not entirely sold that they're correct. Lonzo Ball, to me, is the most impactful player in this class. No matter what you think of his father, I just think that this guy makes everyone else better and is the best at doing that in this draft class. And I don't know if it's necessarily close. The level of play that he raises everyone else's game to is so clear when you watch him play. Now, the thing is, and as you said, are there enough basketballs to go around for these young guys? Because it's not like the Golden State Warriors where they've been around the league for a while and they're trying to win. And so that works out a little bit better than a bunch of young guys where, you're talking about moving Russell to the 2. And then you also have Clarkson, who's a guy who plays probably better with the ball in his hands. And then you look at a guy like Brandon Ingram, who they were using not so successfully, but they were using as their backup point guard last season. Right. So you got a lot of guys who play best with the ball in their hands, but no pun intended there, I do think Lonzo Ball would help this team tremendously. And I think that if the buy-in happened from the young guys, if Luke Walton was able to get them to buy in to saying Lonzo's going to have the ball in his hands a good amount of the time, and he's going to get you guys in the best situations to score. Like Russell, to me, easily, he had a very good season last year, but with a guy like Lonzo Ball, he could be even better. Same with Ingram. He's going to put them in great spots. He's got the size. He's going to also, I think, help them defensively, which is something I haven't heard a lot of, because he's a pretty good defender, and he definitely showcased that in college, and a guy who definitely locks in on both ends of the court.
Yeah, and the Lakers definitely need more wing protection on their defense. I agree with basically everything you've said. I think Ball will right away go in, and if D'Angelo Russell, and obviously his maturity has been at question since he's been drafted by the Lakers, if he buys in, like you said, if Walton gets him to buy in and to play off ball too, and maybe use him in a bunch of different ways, I think he'll be the premier scorer for the Lakers. Ball will, find ways to get him, the basketball, get Ingram involved, get Julius Randle involved, Larry Nance, all the young guys that they have. And the one concern that I have about Lonzo Ball, obviously, is that he's not a great scorer, but the Lakers don't need that if D'Angelo Russell learns to not have to have the basketball all the time. He'll get his opportunities to create with the basketball, and he can be the primary scorer, the go-to guy, the clutch guy where you need him in winning time to get the ball. So that's personally what I like about Lonzo Ball. I think there are, unless you want to jump in, Jack, I think we should maybe just discuss about some of the other guys just in case the Lakers decide not to go with Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the two guys who I've heard the most other chatter from, and obviously it's highly concentrated on Lonzo Ball, with the marketing effort that his father has put in. But the two other players I've heard are De'Aaron Fox and Josh Jackson. Jackson, to me, is interesting because they could use another wing, but with Ingram in tow, I question his fit there because I'm worried about his jump shot, to be honest.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm not sold on his jumper, developing. I know you're going to tell me look at the numbers. They look fine. But when I look at his shot, and this is, compared to Lonzo Ball's shot, his shots actually looks much nicer. But Lonzo took more threes and had better results. But Jackson's shot, to me, seems like it's going to take some time to develop. He's got the size and the defensive fortitude you look for in a wing, but I'm just not sold on his fit there. On the other hand, De'Aaron Fox, I think, would fit in just fine. He doesn't, as opposed to Lonzo Ball, I think he's going to be able to play without the ball in his hand at times, and I think his jumper is going to develop pretty nicely. It looks nicer, and over the past, back half of the season for De'Aaron Fox, it really improved. He was really shooting with more confidence, and everyone loves talking about the Fox versus Ball tournament game where he really just dominated him inside the paint with his quickness and his speed. I think Fox would be a good fit for the Lakers and a guy who can defend. He's got the speed to create offensively, but I just don't see how they don't pick Lonzo Ball. I think he's the best fit and the best player.
All right, guys, you heard it from us. The Lakers should and probably will go take Lonzo Ball, but if they don't, be on the lookout for De'Aaron Fox, the speedy Kentucky point guard who, could very well, wherever he goes, turn into a fine player in his own right. So, guys, let us know what you think, if you agree, if you disagree. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for listening, guys. We're out.